If this law passes, activists in Texas will be facing a felony with a maximum of 2 years in state prison and a $10,000 fine. Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Thank you all for joining me for this live stream. Really appreciate it. It's one of the most important videos, so pay attention, hit the like button, and share this video anywhere you can. This needs to be seen by as many people as possible. So HBO Matt reached out to me and he told me that Texas is looking to enhance their interfering law that is a misdemeanor to a state felony punishable by 2 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Why is this important? Because interfering, especially in Texas, which Texas is like Florida, I've been telling you guys for years now, they are police states. They are trying to make it so that way activists, cop watchers, First Amendment auditors who film the police are being charged with a felony. Now, it doesn't say that, but we'll talk about why it is exactly that way in just a minute. Let's look at the hearing that they held.
House Bill 3565. I recognize the Chairman Cook to explain the bill.
Thank you, Chairman Louderback and members for the opportunity to present House Bill 3565. I'll be quick. I know that others are waiting, but basically, currently under Section 38.15A of the Penal Code, a person commits the Class B misdemeanor offense of interference with public duties if they disrupt, interrupt, impede, or interfere with the following public servants while they are conducting their official duties: peace officers or police canines, EMS and fire, animal control, and county public health, environmental radiation, or safety officials. For these public servants, every day and every encounter on the job is inherently dangerous, as you know, Chairman. Specifically for law enforcement, when an officer is working a traffic stop or accident scene, dealing with an outside party who is screaming or encroaching the officer's physical space can cause unnecessary distractions and escalation. Additionally, the officer may have to call for backup to deal with the outside party, taking precious resources away from other emergency calls. In Tarrant County, some individuals actively seek out opportunities to interfere with law enforcement during service calls, film the encounters, and post them to YouTube, where the footage is monetized. The current criminal penalty for...
I really hate it. I've been dealing with this. I have multiple federal lawsuits pending. And the one thing the government always brings up is that he's making money off of this. He's monetized. Let me just let you in on a little secret. Every journalist makes money for reporting on matters of public interest. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, Newsmax, News Nation, all their journalists make money, and they all make it the same way, through advertising revenue. That doesn't delegitimize your activism, your journalism. It just doesn't. And I hate it because that's what they always say. I think they're just jealous that people who are holding the government accountable are able to make some money off of it.
For interference with public duties is a Class B misdemeanor, and this bill simply moves to a state jail felony. While the First Amendment protects the right to film law enforcement interactions, the right should not extend to behavior which obstructs a public servant's ability to do their job. Members, I'll be glad to answer any questions. This bill was brought to us by the Tarrant County District Attorney Phil Sorrells' office, and would be glad to answer any.
Did you hear that? The bill was brought by the Tarrant County in Texas, the Tarrant County District Attorney Phil Sorrells. So I'm going to show you exactly what's taking place in Tarrant County in a minute.
Questions would like an opportunity to close when appropriate, and this bill has been passed by the Senate in the form of Senate Bill.
Oh yeah, it's already been passed by the Senate, by the way. So now it just needs to get passed by the House of Representatives. I will leave links in the description with contact information to the Speaker of the House as well as the Tarrant County DA if you would like to exercise your First Amendment right.
1208 and is in the Criminal Jurisprudence Committee at this time.
I know we're short on time, so just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
You don't touch any of the conduct related to interference.
That's correct.
This is
We strike three words and swap out Class B misdemeanor with state jail felony. That's it. Yeah.
And does the Senate bill is identical to that? It doesn't tinker with the underlying offense?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
So he says that, does it change any of the language? The problem is it should change the language because interfering in Texas, for example, I'm a New York resident, as you all know. In New York, our interfering is called obstruction, and it has a physical element to it. You have to physically obstruct. In Texas, that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. It's very broad. It's just impede interfering with the police duties, their official duties. It doesn't have to be physical.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, we show you registered as William Vassar, Assistant Criminal District Attorney. Phil Sorrells, Tarrant County Criminal District Attorney.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're here today, you represent who we said that you're testifying on for against House Bill 3565.
For Chairman.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. So my name is Bill Vassar. I've been a prosecutor at the Tarrant County DA's office for over 22 years. And I want to tell you all what I've been telling the juries the past 2 years when I've been trying these cases. Nobody is saying you can't film the police. Sadly, whether we like it or not, nobody is saying you can't cuss, scream at, or antagonize the police.
Wait. The guy before you, literally the other government agent, just said, oh, these people are coming up to police encounters and screaming and yelling at police. First of all, not everybody does that. Second of all, it is a constitutionally protected activity to scream and curse at the police. And he's saying, now this guy's saying, oh, but that's okay. It's okay.
What
Hypocrite.
we're saying is you just can't interfere with their ability to investigate a case. What we are seeing in Tarrant County are individuals are inserting themselves on traffic stops. They're inserting themselves on domestic violence investigations. They're inserting themselves on warrant service, where police officers are trying to arrest violent fugitives. They're running up to police officers with their cameras. They are screaming at them. They are cussing at them. They're demanding their name and badge number. And they are physically getting in their investigation. And the problem with that is
Bunch of BS.
it's a public safety issue. Because I'm amazed in the 20 or 30 cases that I've dealt with in Tarrant County that nobody's gotten hurt.
Whoa. District attorney from Tarrant County. No one's gotten hurt. Then what's this? Hold on. Let me bring this up for you guys to see. Let me remove this for a second. No one's gotten hurt. Fort Worth is in Tarrant County prosecutor. And Carolina here was slammed to the ground, had a TBI, broken bones. Look at her. This was a law enforcement officer that did this to this poor woman, not because she physically interfered, because she didn't. Again, she was recording them and they did not like it, so they threw her to the ground. It's insane. No one's been hurt. You mean no government agent has been hurt? That's true. No government agent, no law enforcement officer, no prosecutor has ever been hurt by an activist filming an encounter. But you better believe that activists get hurt by law enforcement all the time and have their rights violated and they're put in a cell. She was put in a cell after this. It's disgusting.
So why do we need to make this a felony? Because we are just having the same group of people are getting arrested over and over again. A couple days in the Tarrant County jail is worth it for them to post it on YouTube and make money off of it.
It is never worth it to go to prison and lose your freedom for any sort of YouTube revenue. That's not the case at all. I don't think any activist, First Amendment order, cop watcher, whatever you want to call yourself, would say that going and spending any time in prison, I know for me, it's not worth it.
So we're very in support of this bill. I would just ask that you consider this, because I think we really need to give our men and women in blue just a little breathing room when they're conducting investigations. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any members, any questions?
Little breathing room. We'll get to that.
Just real quick, and
Matt Moody.
thank you very much, Chairman. I appreciate that. If we're talking about law enforcement, frontline law enforcement, I'm just looking through the statute. A1, peace officer. A2 is emergency medical services. A3 is firefighter. A4 is the peace officer's service and the animal, the canine with them. A5 has to do with transmission. If this is really targeted to frontline law enforcement, maybe the penalty enhancement should be for certain ones of these and not the entire group of them. But if it's to be broader as the whole statute, because statute is more than just peace officers.
Sure.
It's a whole bunch of interaction. And it may be their position that it should apply to all of these, but I just, the examples keep being peace officer,
Right.
officer. So, just a thought. I don't know if we want to look at stair-stepping that penalty when we're talking about frontline law enforcement, or if we want to go to everybody that's covered under the statute. And we can talk about that later. I know we're short on time, but just a thought.
Sure. And I'll tell you, the only thing that I've seen personally in Tarrant County are our frontline officers.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman.
Representative Little.
Thank you, Chairman. So, Mr. Vassar, I had similar concern to Representative Moody, I think you could probably tailor this to peace officers in A1 and be better off. Certainly, I agree with you. It can endanger officers. One of the concerns that I have is
Endanger officers, ladies and gentlemen. They're endangering officers. Oh, my.
the breadth of the statute as it relates to interrupting, disrupting, impeding, or otherwise interfering with. And it seems to me that captures a broad range of conduct, right? How are peace officers trained on what constitutes a violation of this provision? Because it's pretty easy to imagine an interruption of a peace officer.
Sure.
And it certainly different from an assault or a true interference preventing a police officer from handcuffing somebody or something along those lines. So can you just explain that to me?
Now, that's a good question. And it was it touches on what I was saying earlier, is that a police officer can imagine whatever, and that's interference. And now it was a misdemeanor before, and now it'll be a felony. Not only will you have a felony on your record, not only will you have to pay $10,000, 2 years in state prison, you have to get a lawyer for that felony, and that lawyer is going to cost you more. This is a directly attacking activists who film the police.
Sure, and I can explain what Fort Worth PD is training their officers to do.
Okay.
Fort Worth PD is telling their officers, find a line of demarcation, meaning that chair right there.
A line of demarcation. These people think they're in the military, I swear.
Sir, you're welcome to film over there, but you've got to stay by that chair, okay? So that's what we are training them to do. The problem is, these individuals are not doing that, right? These officers are having to say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, you've got to stand over there. They give individuals multiple times, and then they finally say, look, if you do it one more time, we're going to arrest you. So these officers are trained to really, tell them to stay over there, be calm with them. They're welcome to film, but they've got to get out of their investigation.
You're welcome to exercise your rights. We're given to give you permission only when we want to.
Okay, thank you. Chairman.
Representative Bowers.
Look at all these empty seats. Where is everybody? Why is nobody working? I know this is a subcommittee, but I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be more people than this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Representative Little, as well. Thank you for your testimony, and I guess I just have questions about the line of demarcation.
Sure.
And, like, what is the number, or is there a space that you think is significant?
So there's no bright line rule, and I think Florida right now is trying to pass maybe a 10 or 15 yard barrier, but in Texas we don't have a bright line rule. So what Fort Worth PD is trying to say, pick a tree, pick a line in the concrete or a car, something roughly 10 yards for them to stay behind and film. And what's really amazing to me is that it's pretty impressive that when our officers are getting screamed at, that they are able to remain calm, say, look, sir, you're welcome to film over there. You just got to stand over there.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Let's take a look. You're welcome to film over there. This is what happened to this poor woman.
Appreciate that, because I guess I'm thinking about the de-escalation in that point
Sure.
in time when that person comes up and sees something that they think is out of line or whatnot. And, I think about my own family that's in law enforcement and that it could create a public safety issue.
Public safety issue. Let's talk about that. Also in Tarrant County, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important. Very important. Let's take a look at this incident. Do you guys remember this? This happened in the same county where this district attorney is trying to push this bill.
Suspicious, right? You've been cruising. It's a hot day. You've been cruising right with your window down.
Yes, sir.
And the first thing I do when I walk up is you roll your window up.
Yes, sir.
Then I say, step out of the car, and then you proceed to roll your window up all the way, and I can no longer see you.
I can roll my window and then shut the door and lock it. That's
By
what
who?
I was told.
By who?
My dad.
Okay.
By the law, the government.
Okay. When you're doing that, you're taking away. I can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the fact it's rude. It's rude, is it not? I'm trying to have a conversation
rude.
with you. You roll up the window, and I'm trying to do my job, and now you're taking away. Just watch him. Yep. Ready yet? Arrest him. Ready yet? Arrest him.
For what?
Look at this man. This is why everything these district attorneys from Tarrant County are saying is complete and utter bullshit. This is this individual, the person that stopped, that's his father, ladies and gentlemen. He is across the street on a public sidewalk. We worried about his son. If you're a father watching this, you have a son, you're a mother, you have a son, you're worried, especially with what law enforcement officers do to people, like what they did to Carolina right here. That's what they do. They beat people up. They throw them to the ground. They have no care. Their only care is to go home to their families. That's it. This man is this guy's father, and he's across the street doing nothing, not yelling, not screaming, not doing anything, not interfering whatsoever. And look, go arrest him. And you know what he was arrested for? Interfering. And do you know at this time, he would have been charged with a Class B misdemeanor. You know, attorney still costs money, but, you know, not the worst case in the world. But now with this new bill that passed the Senate and is about to pass the House of Representatives, that's why I left public contact information so you guys can let them know, especially if you're in Texas, that we don't want this, that this is blatantly retaliatory against activists. He's not screaming or doing anything, and he was charged with interfering. It's ridiculous. This is this same county. And look, a safety situation. Watch this.
Down, turn around. No, man,
Nope.
for what?
Hey.
What? Hold on. What am I blocking?
Nope.
I'm not blocking any roadway.
Nope. Enough.
I am not blocking a roadway.
Put your phone down.
I,
Put your hands behind your head.
Hey,
Blocking the roadway on a sidewalk.
Ross, I hope you got this on video. This guy's arresting me for just standing here. And now he's taking my phone away.
Hey. Out of the unit.
Dude, oh my God.
Hey, you're gonna.
Dude, what are you doing?
You're gonna get sprayed. Okay?
I'm not
Put your
even
hands
doing
behind
anything.
your head.
My God.
Spray.
I'm not even doing anything.
Get that over here. Excuse me. 323. Need a more unit. Run code.
This is what Texas does to people, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about here. Just so this is the same exact county. I know Texas is a very big state. This is the same exact county that is bringing forth this bill to make interfering what that man was just charged with, to make filming the cops in general, where they could just put you on this interfering, charge you with interfering because it's so broad, and they're going to make it a felony. This is it. This is the public safety. This is why it disgusts me when these people are coming up here saying these things.
I also have concerns because I feel like if they're filming and if no one catches it, then when something is out of line and it would not be reported, it would go unreported.
Absolutely. And again, in what I've been telling juries the past 2 years, nobody's saying you can't film. That is 2000.
Dude, you work for the county where this happened. You work for the county where Carolina happened. So many other instances. I don't have enough time to show you where cop watchers, First Amendment auditors, activists, just regular citizens worried about their children filming the police just get violated and they get beat up and they get assaulted, pepper sprayed, and everything else. You are so full of shit, man. You really are.
2020.
You make me want to go out to Texas. If I knew about this before this meeting happened, I would have been right there sitting in the back and I would have spoken up and I would have called this tyrant out. You know, you make me want to put a billboard truck in front of your house because you're so disingenuous and a liar.
We have that right. Everybody has cell phones. It's just if an officer is conducting a traffic stop, right, and I'm the officer and I'm talking to somebody in a car, you can't be right here with a phone in my face screaming at me, right? And because what happens, obviously.
Name one time where an activist, a citizen, a regular citizen, a cop watcher put a phone right here next to an officer. He's lying. He is outright lying. And this is a prosecutor. He's like, oh, I tell juries all the time, you could film the police until we don't want you to. That's what you should tell them. You can film the police until we don't want you to film us. Then you're interfering.
Obviously, as the officer turns to address that individual, now they're not worrying about their investigation.
Thank you. That makes sense.
Oh, and in the pepper spray case, there was 2 officers. He said, go watch him. You know what? Better yet, go arrest him. Go violate his rights. Let's go pepper spray him. Spray him. Spray him.
Thank you so much.
ADA Bassard, let me see if I can touch on exactly what's going on here. in open air investigations or open air inquisitions, wherever we're being called for service.
The public information for the prosecutor, including their email, is in the description of this video.
If you direct someone to go behind that chair in an open air, they simply move the chair.
Right.
So it usually results very, very decidedly into a call for additional units. And we actually are running into situations where investigations can't continue until other units get there, hold the crowd back, or a developing crowd situation. So these things are ever growing, especially in open air areas. So where crowds have congregated or begin to congregate. So this is would you agree with that? This is what we're seeing over and over again.
Absolutely, and it's also a resource situation, because
Absolutely.
a recent case that I tried, it was merely a DWI investigation, and we had 2 people showing up filming. Well, now, because it's one officer with a DWI investigation, we have to have backup, right? Oftentimes, these interference cases, they turn into resisting cases. That is additional.
I was just in Rhode Island. I've been to Texas. They call 1 million units on on a broken taillight. They'll call 5 units. Come on.
Officers. In addition, these people, as part of their play with the police, then they're demanding a supervisor. So then that means a sergeant or a lieutenant now has to come out to the scene to deal with that person. So it's, in lack of a better terms, it's really taking officers off the street.
Very, very common. Thank you. Representative Bowers.
Thank you, Chairman Lauterback. So, have you seen an increase in this and like over what time period? And I guess because, as you said, ADA, that we're looking at now people have cell phones. And
Right.
So,
I would say and I'm just going to speak to Tarrant County and Fort Worth. I would say the past 2 years, this is really becoming a problem. And they kind of work in a network because they all have YouTube.
This happened in the last 2 years. Prosecutor, this happened in the last 2 years. This happened very recently. Why don't you bring her up?
So they'll be in Fort Worth one weekend, they'll be in Houston the next, then they'll be in Austin, because, they're monetizing this.
thank you.
Hey, prosecutor, do you get paid to prosecute people? Do you get paid by our money, our tax dollars? You hypocrite.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, man, I'm going to Texas. That's it.
Thank you all very much.
We show you registered as Kirsten
Only person to speak out. I wish I would have known about this, but this is the only person to speak out against it.
Budwine from the
God
Texas
bless
Civil
her.
Rights Project.
Civil Rights Project.
And you are testifying on for or against House Bill 3565?
Against.
Against.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Go ahead.
HB 3565 increases the criminal penalty for the offense of interference with public duties from a Class B, which is 180 days in jail, up to a $2,000 fine, to a state jail felony, which is up to 2 years in jail and a $10,000 fine. Interfering with public duties is broadly defined as a person who interrupts, disrupts, impedes, or otherwise interferes with a peace officer while the officer is performing a duty. People who film the police or protest are often charged with this offense. Protesting and recording police officers are both protected speech under the First Amendment and should not be considered felonious conduct. As the previous witness stated, there is no bright line rule for uniform training for this type of offense. I'm aware of situations where officers who do not want to be filmed, period, or at all, have used this as a weapon against the person who is filming. We are completely against trying to increase the criminal penalties for what is not only protected speech, but what is oftentimes nonviolent conduct that poses no threat to law enforcement. This will have a chilling effect on the rights that we all hold near and dear to us. People will be deterred from holding officers accountable and protesting in fear of being stamped as a felon for the rest of their lives. Rather than punishing citizens for the nonviolent conduct, we should be encouraging this type of conduct. For these reasons, we are opposed to that was the identical bill, HB 3565. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Oh, no questions for her. Of course not. No questions for her. Of course not, you hypocrites.
And Speaker Moody, I'm happy to, we've already made some notes there, and we're happy to limit it to law enforcement. We appreciate the committee's favorable consideration. I know we're at a late hour in the legislative process, but I would certainly appreciate the committee's
Thank you
favorable
so much.
consideration and the ability to move it through with the suggestion from Speaker Moody. If there's not any other questions, I close.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thanks, sir.
If there's no objection, the bill will be.
Put on pending, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm telling you guys now, I've been saying it for years, Texas, and I know a lot of you from Texas, know a lot of you from Florida, but Texas and Florida have become more and more police state. That's all they want to do is strip away our rights little by little in the name of officer safety. But again, the district attorney said it himself. He says, well, I'm surprised because of our officers' great composure that there hasn't been any injuries regarding this First Amendment cop watching and all these things. Yeah, there's been a lot of injuries, man. There's been a lot. People's freedom, constitutional rights, their bodies. An officer slammed this poor woman to the ground for filming them. This man got pepper sprayed
What the heck, man?
for
Stop.
filming.
Stop.
Look at this. Look.
323. OC spread.
What is this about?
Your tax
Can you
dollars
take my
hard work.
phone?
That's what it's about.
Stay away, sir. Sir, stay away.
Back off.
You can
Thank
video
you,
this.
brother.
Stay away.
Video from the corner.
Stay away.
Video from the corner. What the heck, man?
This is what happens. A man worried about his son, a woman filming the police, an elderly woman filming the police, slammed to the ground on her face, knocked unconscious, agonal breathing, TBI, traumatic brain injury, broken bones. This man pepper sprayed. Thankfully, the update on this is that this guy, one of these officers, was found guilty of official misconduct, and he's never going to be a cop again, the one who pepper sprayed him. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is so important. Please hit the like button. It's not because I want you to like me. It's because YouTube pushes the videos out where people hit the like button and they share the video on their own social medias. And I'm asking you specifically for this video to do this because the world needs to see it. There's public contact information, not only for the Tarrant District Attorney's Office, but for the Speaker of the House. This bill can be passed literally at any moment, making it a felony, felonious, to record the police. And I know the bootlickers out there will be like, there's no language in the bill that says if you're recording the police, you're going to get a felony. That's not what this crime is. The elements of this crime are so broad and up for interpretation. Doesn't involve anything physical like here in New York and other states. It is just interfering, impeding with a law enforcement officer. And that's what all of these activists have been charged with. Not one officer has ever been hurt by a man or a woman with a camera, not one. And they can't bring it up because it doesn't exist. But you see the father, everybody, it's ridiculous. I was told this, this week, and I'm like, I got to report on this. I got to talk about this. Again, shout out to HBO Matt for bringing this to my attention, because this could pass at any moment, ladies and gentlemen. And then now, Texas, we lose more and more of our freedom. So I encourage you to peacefully exercise your First Amendment right to contact your public servants. All the information's in the description of this video. I don't think anything is ever that one district attorney. Let me pull up his face right here. What's his name again? Let's find his name before we get out of here. Because he might get a billboard truck in front of his house, because that's how I feel about him, honestly.
We show you registered as William Vassar,
William Vassar,
Criminal District Attorney.
Assistant District Attorney William Vassar. You coward. This man right here, a coward, a hypocrite, a propagandist. He is trying to spew lies and propaganda in order to make his police state even more of a police state, in order to protect law enforcement officers' safety. Oh man, these people, they're trying to make money off of this. Even though I make a whole lot of money on my public servant salary, even though I get to make money, I prosecute these things, and I tell the jury every time, this is not about filming the police. Yes, it is. Wake up, America. Wake up, Texas residents. These kinds of laws and this kind of propaganda is killing the American public's constitutional rights. and is taking it away little by little, and we need to stop it. It cannot be done anymore. I'll be in Texas soon, that's for sure, and I'm going to make sure that I make my presence known out there, and I'm especially in Tarrant County, Fort Worth area, wherever it may be. Again, billboard truck maybe in front of the prosecutor's house, who knows? But guess what? We're going, and what are you going to say? Office prosecutor safety at that point? Ridiculous. I'm going to expose each and every one of these tyrants, and I need your help to do it. I really appreciate your support. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Long Island Audit. Peace.